Hi there, my name is Alex and welcome to White Tree Tarot. This is my first ever YouTube video and English is not my native language, so please be patient with me. In this video I will try to combine 3 tags from Ethany's 31 Days of Tarot. So let's see how it goes. First one, holiday goodies. In my case, these are presents from me to myself. Decks which came into my collection end of December, beginning of January. So let's look at them. The first one is Rohrig Tarot by German artist Rohrig. This is a guidebook, English guidebook. What I have is the first edition. English edition, first English edition. Now this edition unfortunately is out of print, but you can get the German version and you can get Spanish version and you can get Czech version. And I'm not sure I'll be able to show you on this camera, but actually, it doesn't really matter which version you get, because on the cards you see notes from artists, and those notes are in German and in English. So even if you don't have any kind of guidebook, you still have idea about what artist had in mind when he painted those cards. So actually, as I said, not a big difference in terms of language, because you have some keywords on the cards themselves. And on artist's website there is a note that he's preparing for second edition. Doesn't mention when, but maybe after he releases second edition, English version will be available again. So this is Rohrig Tarot, very big cards, really big cards. Just a second. This is approximately standard tarot cards, so you can see how different, how bigger it is. So, but that's absolutely wonderful that the cards are big, because famous full card. I think many have seen it. Just absolutely gorgeous. So, if you are interested, you can look for a Spanish version or for German version. Cards are just gorgeous. I haven't started really work with it yet. I haven't gone through the guidebook, and this deck is a combination of a Thoth system and Rider-Waite-Smith system, more maybe of Thoth and rune correspondences on the major arcana. Okay, on Sun card came up. They are from Heinl Tarot. So there are different opinions, are those correspondences good or not, but still the deck is absolutely wonderful, and yeah, I'm happy to have it for a reasonable price. The second one, sorry, I will be checking my notes from time to time, because otherwise I'll get totally lost, that's for sure. So second one, long anticipated, and then it came just as an, how you say, urgent notice that, oh, we'll be having this deck on our website in 2 days or something like that. And I'm talking about Jonasa, Jaus, or I suppose in Spanish, this artist is Spanish, so in Spanish it would be Jonasa House, maybe. Yeah, so this is 4th edition. They put it on, she put it on her, oops, can you see it? On her website on 29th of December, but there was a notice that they will be putting out some more of those wonderful decks. So if you didn't have a chance to get this edition at the end of December, in February or March, they are promising to put it on Jonasa Jaus or Jonasa House webshop. Cards are gorgeous. Again, I'm pretty sure camera doesn't do it justice because the artwork is, especially on Major Arcana, is so detailed. It's soft. It's a bit shy, but it's beautifully done. It's no words. I read in an interview from an artist that when she drew those cards, she based it upon Mr. Khodorovsky's book about tarot. So this is more of Marseille deck, not Smith, not right away to Smith, not Thoth, but more of Marseille deck. But I would say I see there also weight system also. But each and every card here is beautiful. So again, if you are interested, look at Jonasa Jaus Big Cartel or something like that, a web shop, and you will definitely be able to get this deck on February or March. Okay, and third deck. Third present is, just a moment. It's Whispering Spirits. Actually, it's a double present because I paid for it on my birthday and it came in just after Christmas. So a double present. This is, I don't even know how to describe. This is very sweet deck. It's very sweet. It's very huggable. I don't know, is there such a word? It's very huggable deck. Oh my God, I love this High Priestess. I love her so much. She's so sweet. To me, it seems like she's wearing her pajamas, but she's so wise and so quietly wise. And actually, this is the message, the feeling I get from this deck. It's very cute. It's very huggable, but it has some old soul wisdom to it. And some quiet sadness. When someone keeps up being kind, being open, even if he already has the knowledge that the world isn't very open and isn't very kind, but there is this knowledge and sadness because of this knowledge, but still the sweetness and still the openness to the world. I must admit that my first impressions of this deck, I have sit with it for a while, have gone through it for a couple of times, but my first impressions to this deck is much more emotional than I ever expected it to be, just because of this sweet sadness vibe it has to me. So if I think there is still a chance to get this deck, and if I will be lucky and knowledgeable enough to get some other videos done, I will try to put a comparison between this Whispering Spirits deck and Monstaro, the first tarot by this artist. Also, if I will know how, I will try to put the names and the creators of the decks somewhere in the description there. Okay, this is the third deck, the third holiday goodie. So on to the next prompt. So question number 2. Top 5 tarot decks of 2019. I defined this to myself as most influential decks that came into my collection in 2019. Some of them are not the most used, but in some way or another, they just added some spark and something new to my collection. Let us start with the deck, which has been on every top list, every wish list I have seen lately, and for a good reason, because Seer Tarot is really a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous deck. I have the indie version of it, but which is not available anymore, but you can get the mass market edition, and I'm sure it's worth it. I think this deck is very live, a very very full of energy, full of joy, full of optimism. The symbology used here is very recognizable. You can read it right out of the box. The messages, the pictures are very clear, easy to understand. And actually, this deck, you feel that this deck really wants to talk to you, is ready to help you just the moment you take it out of the box. Wonderful, if I can say so, wonderful about the Three of Swords card. There are a couple of cards I really, really like. Let's start with Six of Cups. Such a sweet, such a touching, such a deep message, really, about growing up, but taking those special places, those special person, that special dog with you, and those memories, those special things are the ones which make you who you are now. So this is just a perfect card, perfect message, very, very sweet. Hermit card. Oops. The author in the description said, let me check, let me see. I witness my heart. And this seems such a perfect place to be. One more, Judgment. Just finally letting your dreams, letting your talents, letting it out in the world and letting it dance. Perfect card. Two of Wands, I usually struggle with this card because in Rider-Waite-Smith deck it's not so clear, but here perfect depiction of the moment before. So it's even long before your first step. It's the planning stage where you are not even sure you will start anything. Just such a clever, such a clear, simple depiction. And my absolutely favorite card, Death card. It just takes my breath away. And I can just admire the talent, the deepest of the depth of ideas and the creation process here to come up with such a picture, to come up with such a beautiful representation of transition. The transition you are ready to take when you see such a card. So absolutely gorgeous card. So I highly recommend, even if you can't get the indie version anymore, get the mass market edition. It's absolutely stunning deck, just beautiful. Those decks are not in any particular order, just let's say the way I put them was just random. Next deck. Next deck is Victorian Romantic Tarot Taroteca-Studio deck. It's the 3rd edition, I guess, with the metallic foil. To me, this deck has a really calm voice, very clear voice. It brings me into a different reality, a little bit, and it reminds me of my granny. She was born in 1920s, and she was a true lady, like this one. So this deck really has a special vibe for me. And I really like that in this deck there are 2 Lovers cards and 2 Devils cards. So you can see, let's say, both perspectives of one symbol, one card. Just a second. So, here we have two devil cards. To me, this one is about me being myself, being my own devil. When there are some guilty pleasures, I allow myself some procrastination. I allow myself so things I know are not good for me, but I still do them. This just one devil, and it's like looking into the mirror. When here, it's more about communication with other people. This is more about toxic relationship, manipulation, this kind of where somebody else is involved. And if here you are at the same time the seduced one and the seducer, then here you are one of the parts. You are even being seduced, or you are the one who are manipulating with people, for example. So I really like that there are options in this deck. So this was deck number 2. Deck number 3. If I would be a tarot deck, I would be this deck. That's for sure. Dark Mansion Tarot. Oh, when I first saw it on Jennifer Ball's Witch House YouTube channel, she was also very, very pleased and very happy about this deck. And when I saw those images, like this one, for example, 8 of Swords, how perfect is it? Is this? That was an instant click. I ordered the deck long before the flip through was over. I ordered both. This is this luxurious edition with bigger card size, but I also have the standard edition, and standard edition is still available with, I assume you can even choose the back of the deck, what you want. So after receiving this deck, I thought that I won't purchase any more tarot decks, because this is the one. This is the one I was expecting. Illusions. But this is still one of my all-time favorite decks. There's no guidebook with it, but it follows Rider-Waite-Smith system very closely, so no problem reading with it without a guidebook. It has a bit quirky sense of humor, but behind this sense of humor and those anecdotes or jokes, there are true wisdom hidden, and very clear, very deep messages. So yeah, I really like this combination. Let me show you some of my favorite cards here. I will try to limit myself and not go into like half an hour. So, for example, Fool card. Really love this Fool. This is the only depiction of a not so human-looking figure. He really looks like a puppet or a toy or something like that, because he is different. He comes from different planet, from different world, different universe, and he is still connected to that universe with those jingles, or how it's called, going up in the air. So yeah, and he's so optimistic. He's so open that looking at this picture, you are sure he will be all right. Even after stepping down this cliff, he will be all right. That for sure. I really like the Wheel of Fortune here, because it's about celebrating those life cycles, enjoying this ride of life. And when I see this card, I definitely interpret it as being a positive sign. Definitely a positive sign, positive change. Oh yeah, and the Hangman. Love him. A vampire, and we all know that vampires sleep. When they sleep, they hang down from the tree, their heads down. But in this depiction, this vampire guy has taken a different approach. He has decided to change his point of view, and instead of hanging his head down, he has turned his head upside. So for him, this is a different point of view. This is looking from different perspective. Love this idea. Really love it. And yeah, I don't know which ones to pick. There are 2 sun cards and 2 moon cards in this bigger edition. And to be honest, I really love this sun card. This is about those little moments of happiness. Like Sunday mornings when your dad is reading newspaper, you are drinking your tea, and those moments of pure joy, true happiness, small moments, but so dear to your heart. Wonderful depiction for the sun card. And okay, let's finish. Oh no. Okay, let's finish it with 2 more cards. Death card. Isn't he just perfect? First of all, I really love that in those cards, some, for example, like this little rose, some echoes from Wade Smith deck are there still. And he looks so human. He looks so melancholic. He looks so tired. Actually, he would need some death moment for himself. Like he would need to end something before he can start anew, before he can enjoy his work again. Just perfect. And I think this is the most popular card from this deck. Moon card. This is from Standard Edition. This is extra card. And this is like the shadow side of the moon. Illusions, shadows, nightmares, when you see a little dog like a big scary monster. And this moon where you actually take your path, your intuition. You take your intuition into your hands and let it lead your way. You are the moon yourself. You are that state of dreams, of intuition, and you are in full control of it. Really, really love it. So, what we have next? Deck number 4. As I said, in no particular order. Deck number 4 is not sure you'll see. True Black. Oh, okay. True Black Tarot. Where do I start? Gorgeous deck. Luxurious. Look and feel. Pictures that are just perfect. And as a big cherry on a cake, on Major Arcana, there are, let me see if I can find one Major Arcana card. Okay, here they are. If on Minor Arcana, there are just very beautiful pictures. Of course, they're beautiful. They're gorgeous. Then on Major Arcana, you have, can you see that glaring part? You have, in professional terms, as I come from printing house background, in professional terms, it's called UV spot varnish. So these shining pictures in the background, they have their own meaning. They carry their own story, adding an extra layer and extra understanding of the cards. So I just adore it. For example, Hierophant. When we look at the main picture on the photograph, we can see some building blocks there, giving you idea about community, about coming together, where small pieces make something greater, are needed for something greater, together with this beehive. I hope I am saying that correctly. it's about working together, believing in something bigger, in some bigger ideas. And there on the background, I hope you can see there's some strange shape there. Let me check my notes just to make sure I'm saying the name right. But this is Lake Mungo in Australia. And the reason why it's depicted here, because there, one of the first ceremonially, I'm not sure I will say it correctly, but ceremonially buried remains of a person were found, meaning that already 40,000 years ago, there was a group of people with common values, with common belief, with common idea about the afterlife. So it just shows us that even this, how you can say it, this blind following, manipulation through your faith is not good, of course not. But already 40,000 years ago, humanity needed common beliefs. They valued being together, partly, of course, because of surviving. But still, I find this idea very enlightening, that when we think of Hierophant, we often think about church, nowadays church, Christianity, different belief system. But this idea about common belief, it's so old. There are, if I will be brave enough, I will try to do a walkthrough for this True Black Tarot Majors, because each story there is like perfect gem, adding so much to the meaning of the cards. So if you have this deck, please read the guidebook. Really, there are those stories those stories about this extra layer, extra artwork are all written in short, but still there are in the guidebook. And if you want extra information, you can Google it. So, okay. Now we come to the love of my life. A very special deck. Just a second. Got it. So it's the Vampire Tarot by Robert and Place. Unfortunately, it's now out of print. I contacted Mr. Place and he said he had no intentions to reprint this deck. This was the first deck I ever purchased secondhand. But when I first saw this deck, I knew I had to have it. And it came to me on 14th of February, on Valentine's Day. And it truly was love from the first sight. Can't explain it, but this is really like my deck, which gives me the most precise and the most wise advices. Maybe this is how I can describe it. It would be even hard for me to pick favorite cards, because I feel that okay, they are glossy, so sorry, there could be some glare there. I feel that the beauty and the strength of this deck is in its wholeness. The storyline behind this deck is really very well thought out. And I'm a huge fan of Robert and Place. The books he writes, they are so smart, they are so full of knowledge, and this deck is also full of thought. You can feel that nothing is by chance here. This deck is closely based on Bram Stoker's Dracula, story. And some other popular vampire stories and movies, I suppose, because one of the cards shows some Nosferatu movie. And guidebook. Yes, let me show it for a second. If you ever consider buying this deck, please make sure that it comes with a guidebook. Guidebook is quite meaty by Robert and Place himself. And first of all, biggest part, let me show you. This part tells you about the origins of vampire myth, about the authors who wrote about vampires, and about Bram Stoker himself also, and about his book. It also touches upon the reasons we love vampires, what they mean to us, what they can mean to us. And to be honest, I think it would be quite difficult to get the real meanings behind the cards, because in some cards the suits here are changed. Garlic flowers are pentacles, stakes are wands, holy water is cups. And oh my god, what did I miss? And knives. Sorry, for swords. So yeah, and the meanings are close, but not fully Rider-Waite-Smith. So as I said, if you get the deck, make sure that you have the guidebook. It will really help with this deck. And kings and court cards. Quite interesting court cards here. Kings and queens are real people. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is mother of Bram Stoker. And kings and queens here are real people who were in one way or another connected either to Bram Stoker or to Dracula's story. I think I put him aside just a moment. Bram Stoker himself is King of Pentacles, King of Garlic Flowers, and Queen of Holy Water is Pamela Colman Smith. Because Pamela Colman Smith was an artist and worked in a theater which was managed by Bram Stoker. And it has been proven by his memoirs that he knew Pixie quite well. So they are both here as a court cards. Knights in this deck are authors. This is wife, I guess. Queen of Garlic Flowers is Bram Stoker's wife. Knights here are writers, and writers who wrote different very famous classical vampire stories. For example, I didn't put him aside, so I'm not sure I will be able to show it to you, but Poe is a knight of stakes. And knaves or pages are characters from works of those respective knights. For example, Ligeia, I think I saw her somewhere here. Ligeia is knave of stakes, and knight of stakes, author of this story, is Poe, so they make a pair there. I adore this deck. I adore Robert and Place artwork. Maybe just because I also love vampire stories, but yeah, this is I wouldn't call it soul deck, but yeah, this is one of my ever very, very top most loved decks. But I turn to it only with serious questions, with when serious help and serious questions are at hand. So this is a serious deck. Oh, Hermit. Love those cards. So we are finally over with top tarot decks, and we are ready for part 3, top oracle decks. I don't use oracle decks often, and I usually use them for one-card draws. So for this top list, I chose decks that came into my collection in 2019, and were the ones I understood the best, I connected with the best. So I have to start, and this will be the top number 1. I will start with Weaver's Oracle. I don't think I will be able to describe the depth of this deck in a couple of minutes. It has been developed by the artist for 30 years, and this is here they are. Oh, love this lady. This is a council. This is a council of shaman women, wise spirits. You sit with them, listen to them, learn from them, and be prepared they will look back into you. These ladies aren't always sweet, but they are always true to you and to themselves, and they have a very strong voice. Actually, guidebook is a very important part of this deck. It gives you a story of each of those weavers. It's not a short story, and you have to read through it. And those stories are deep and intense. I just this is not a one day or for 1 day card. This is for a month. You sit, you work, you think. So yeah, right now one of those beautiful weavers are on my altar, and I will work with her during the January. Very intense, very deep, very, very special deck. Very special deck. Number 2. Give me a second. Number 2 is Earthbound Oracle. Smart little deck. Just keywords. No guidebook. And main lesson for me from this deck is be open-minded. And sometimes don't look so deep for symbolism, for philosophical quotes. The answer is on the surface. Just see it, and yes, sometimes it's just that simple. Don't overthink. So this is a very smart deck for precise answers, for short, precise answers. Next one. Angels and Ancestors deck. Beautiful pictures, of course, and beautiful pictures with guidebook, with quite a big guidebook, and it reminds me a bit of Weaver's Oracle, but this deck is more on the positive and on the light side. not for such a deep work with yourself, just for ideas, ideas to think over. So this I use sometimes also for a daily draw. And I don't know if you can see that, but messages on the cards are written as advices. And this is how I use them, just for advice. And so far, those advices have been quite clear and precise. So love this also. Number 4. I think there will be no number 5. I will stop here. So number 4 is Morgan's tarot. It's I'm not sure why it's called tarot. It's for me it's totally an oracle deck. It has 88 cards, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, totally forgot that. But I think it was 88. Oh, sorry. It was first published in 1970s. It's inspired by, I think I'll make a Buddha. If I remember correctly, the story behind this was that someone asked the little boy what he would like to make out of clay or some material today, and he said, "I think I'll make a Buddha." And short sentence, which makes you think. This was first published in 1970s. It's been republished several times. It has sense of 60s, vibes of 1960s. Actually, yeah, like this. Yeah, that's your message. In the beginning of the little white book, it says, the order in which cards are described is purely random. So even guidebook doesn't take it very serious. Gives you an idea, right? But yeah, it has a little white book. And all that's in the white book is, I'm not sure you'll be able to see, but there are name of the card and very different length of descriptions. Some has one sentence, some has a paragraph, but this deck has such a unique voice, such a unique twist, like let George do it. Sure, poor George. Forget it. Isn't it smart? Isn't just so clever? Forget it. And most of the cards are like this. This may not be a perfect circle, but it's perfect whatever it is. It's my sense of humor. It's my understanding of, I don't know, the communication. How I use this is I draw a card, read the little. Oh my God, it's like, yep. Read this sentence, read the description, smile, and then think. Because this will give you things to think about. Love this deck. Even when you ask some questions jokingly, like for purpose of entertainment, it kicks you back and you sit and you are, okay, maybe I shouldn't ask. Yeah, perfectly love this deck. Adore it. So you can still get it. US Games has republished it, so it's available definitely. So here we are. First video done. If any of you got through this with me to the end, thank you very much. Maybe, who knows, we will see each other in next video. Thank you for your attention. And goodbye for now.